Yeah, we should skip to the end. I don't have time to watch through all this. Oh, this is the is this the comp games from this season where pick rates? Griffin's picked 16 times. Holy shit. Damn. You got picked 16 times? And he won 10 times. Holy shit. That's crazy. Let's see some any big outliers here. Valkyrie got picked a lot. I'm not surprised. Very good character. Wait. Okay, yeah, okay, this is pick rate. I see this pick rate, and then this is win rate down here. So Conqueror 0 times makes total sense. Lawbringer 0 makes sense. Gladiator, yeah, that makes sense. Team fighting meta right now. Warmonger, I'm surprised Warmonger did not get picked at all here. Berserker makes sense. Nobody wants to use Berserker, not strong anymore. Highlander, wait. So no Shaman, no Jormungandr, no Warlord, makes sense. No Armisha, Armisha's pretty mediocre right now. No Kyoshin, that makes sense because Kyoshin's very stationary. He's not going to survive against all the dodge attack meta. Medjai, he doesn't. I mean, he does okay. I'm surprised they didn't pick Medjai, but if we look at the characters here, Peacekeeper got picked 5 times. Peacekeeper won. Oh my god, she won all of her games. Okay, that makes sense. Peacekeeper with a coordinated team is going to be very strong. Good for rotations, good for backcapping, good for clearing mid, and good for peeling. So that makes sense. Peacekeeper's always been a strong character if you have a solid team with you to help her. But you also need god tier reactions and god tier reads. And so when we're talking about like the highest tiers of players, the people who use this character, I don't know who's using it, but it's probably like some super high ranked player that had very good reactions. But with Peacekeeper, like strong duelist and very high damage punishes with her dodge attack. I believe her dodge attack does 18 damage total in comparison to the rest of the cast, which does like 16. Like 16 at max for most of the characters. I think Peacekeeper is the only outlier right now. Warlord, no Warlord, kind of surprising, but maybe Varangian is the upgrade. Yes, I am the upgrade. And then let's see here, Blackprior, he got picked 4 times, makes sense. But I'm looking at Griffin here. Griffin got picked 16 times and won 10 games. Very impressive. This character, incredibly strong because of that forward enhanced light buff. Now, if they gave that to Kensei, it would be a huge buff to Kensei. I would assume that Kensei would rise up all the way back up to like A tier, like 100%. 100%. I'm not surprised about Valkyrie. Strong ganker, good team fighter. And a strong duelist as well. Very, very good character. Varangian Guard, Orochi got picked 19 times. Well, 19 total. Makes sense. Honestly makes sense. I think Orochi is still incredibly strong still, in my opinion. I think he is very strong still, especially when it comes to like matchmaking games. Orochi, Berserker is actually still very good too, in my opinion. Do you think deflects are better at crushing counters? I am honestly surprised Highlander did not get picked. Very, very surprised. Shigoki, he also, how much did he get picked? 8 times, won 3 games. Okay, I see why Varangian's not picked that much, because Varangian and Afir were the most banned characters. I see now. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, that makes 100% way more sense. I see now. I understand. Yeah, he also has those heals in team fights, 100% Megatoki. My week was great though. Thank you, Joseph, for asking. Yabi Beautiful Soul. How's yours? Why do you want to pick Warmommers? Because I don't think she does enough for team fights. Mashed potato. Like, she's an okay duelist, and I don't think this was before her buff too, mind you. Right now, I'm sure people would pick her a lot more in comparison to other characters. I think she's incredibly good right now. I'm doing a reaction to Faraams TIERLIST right now. But let's see here. Orochi's picked a lot. Nobushi's picked a lot. Obviously, very strong character in team fights. Shinobi, a shit ton. It's just one of the most annoying characters out there. Elusive, great ganks, all that good stuff. Hitakiri picked a ton as well because she is absolutely brain rot incarnate. Sleepy Joe could play this character and become a top 10 grandmaster in For Honor. I promise you. Hitakiri's insane. They picked a lot of Hitakiris are picked just because of the easy to use. Remember that. In higher levels of play, and especially comp games, if the character is like super duper easy to use and has a lot of high value, they're gonna pick them. If a character has like a lot of small quirks or things that you need to learn about the hero to be like at a very high effective level, they're probably not gonna get picked as much. And I'm assuming that's probably why a Highlander was not picked too much either, because you had to be like a specialist to make Highlander work. He still has like a low skill floor, but in matchmaking that's fine. But like pretty high level games, I think since his neutral is pretty much non-existent besides that zone heavy feint, then it's not going to deal as much offensive pressure, especially in team fights. Like he's decent in team fights with hyper armor and maybe his confirm with his grab and unblockable heavies. But you know, I think when you compare it to Jang Jun, Shaolin, Janhu, these characters are picked way more. It just makes more sense. Ocelotl picked a lot as well. Very good character. Afira's banned a shit ton. Magi wasn't picked at all, which is a bit, I guess, is not surprising because he did get nerfed severely on his hyper armor, and that's a good thing. He relies more on like 1v1s and maybe his pin ganks, but that's only if you get into that situation in the first place. What do you think about Centurion yourself? I'll talk about Centurion afterwards. Where's BP located in all this right now? BP is still like he got picked about 4 times, it seems. So he wasn't like a huge pick, but you can still use him in a lot of team comps. He's pretty versatile, in my opinion. Pretty versatile. And listen, I love yapping about For Honor. For Honor is my passion, dude. For Honor makes me hard. This is Faraams tier list for solo queue and duo queue from what I could gather. But he has been playing in stacks lately. And I'm assuming he also speaks if you're playing with competent teammates as well. So it's like a little bit of a jumbled combination, and that's okay too, because it is matchmaking. Anything can happen, and a character that has higher chances of winning a 1v2 or a 2v2 is obviously just going to do well in general. And let's just go ahead and look at the S tiers. This all makes sense to me. Pirate, always been a good character with however much nerfs. I think she's gotten like freaking 10 nerfs total. My god. And then they buffed like her dodge attack. Well, they didn't buff her dodge attack. They reverted it back to the speed of which it was before. So now she's like incredibly good. I still think she was really good before, but now she's just a little bit ridiculous with her dodge cancel recoveries. They're probably gonna nerf that aspect. Varangian Guard, she was banned a shit ton. Nobody wants to fight this character. Absolutely. Yeah, I want to pour bleach on my eyes and dip my balls in sulfuric acid, bro, when I fight this character or see one. If I see 2 of them like this, I don't know if Faraam's counting for like 2 of the characters being in a lobby, because 2 pirates is so annoying. It's hard to catch them unless you have a full block character and you're playing like super well. Like she's someone you can definitely deal with, but her dancing around looks so stupid. Varangian Guard, absolutely cancer. Afira is also a cancerous character too. She's really fun to play, but she also has like very strong defensive capabilities, and she's basically a shinobi with shield. Orochi, he did get nerfed recently with his dodge attack, get the berserker treatment, but I still think he's very good. I played like a bunch of games with him off stream when I'm just like chilling and focusing. When I play off stream, I'm focusing like crazy, most like 90% of the time, unless the game is just like there's bots out on every single team. I'm not gonna play the game seriously. But with Orochi, like I feel like I'm doing fairly well with him still. If you're dodging into someone to initiate offense, you can't do that anymore. But if you dodge away from them, you can still be safe from like their entire mix-up, unless their teammate is like positioned well enough, like really close to you. If they have a Fira or maybe a pirate or a Varangian Guard to full block you and dodge away, dodge attack you to catch you and hyper armor through you afterwards. But I feel like his dodge attack is still very safe because he can dodge attack after a dodge attack. Warden, high A tier. This is I don't know how about this, to be honest. I feel like Warden is very good in a highly coordinated team, but if you like put him against like 2 Varangians, 2 Jang Juns, or any double of a character, I feel like his defensive capabilities aren't enough to handle all the offense in the game. Like even if you have like very good teammates, I feel like I don't know, this one's a little bit tricky for me personally, because I want to incorporate solo queue more so than being in a stack. Because if you're in a duo queue, you could get help from your teammate, which is going to be nice. Like he has some good ganks, very good hitbox on his neutral heavies and his finisher heavies. And of course, one of the best 50-50s in the entire game, that is a Vortex. But I feel like his defense is just not as good as like characters like Jane June, even Ocelotl. Like dodge attacks in general, I think Ocelotl's defense is actually very good because the form has chain light that comes afterwards. Very, very good. Bring back smoke bomb. No, get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. But Warden, this is I know he's very good for a high tier player who has god tier reactions, but I wouldn't put him up super high above Jang Jun or any of these characters, to be honest. Jang Jun, I understand this pick. You understand why he exists. Iframes, unblockable zone, huge hitboxes. Ocelotl, good tier 1, 50-50 mix, very powerful, 400 chain lights, and out-rotating your opponents. Good ganks as well, insane ganks. Well, this character has insane ganks too, and a pin kick. Griffin, I mean, you see in the competition, everyone's picking him. Easy to use and high value with his healing feats. Shaolin, crazy 50-50 mix, good neutral, insane feats with his tier 3 Invigorate, and heals everyone around him. Good 50-50s, great gank, sweep gank. I mean, what more can I say? Also, his forward heavy acts as a freaking, you can't GB him when he does it. For some reason, if you unblockable mix and you go for a guard break, he can just do a forward dodge heavy. And also, Nusha has this issue as well. I think those things need to get nerfed. Well, to be fair, I don't know if they need to get nerfed per se. What do you guys think about that? Like characters like Shaolin and Nusha can throw out their zone. Nusha throws out a zone, it deals like 28 damage. If you're 1v1ing her, it does 32 damage. Shaolin can do the forward heavy, and I think there's a few characters that could do that too. Jingjun, he has to commit to his. I think you can do it with Kensei too, but his is like the slowest freaking move. You can see it coming from Mars, but I don't think it's like a huge issue because you can let the unblockables fly, and then they'll just eat it. So, but I think Nusha is a little bit too much in my opinion. It does 32 damage. 32 damage. And it's not speaking from a 1v1 perspective. This is a Dominion 1v1. Okay, so that's just my opinion on it. If you guys don't agree with me, that's totally understandable. Moving on to Peacekeeper, I don't think she's gonna be. I don't think she should be this high. I think you need to be an actually good player with her. You need to actually be have decent reactions, have good reads, and rotate like incredibly well. I would put her like high B tier at least. I would not put her like high A tier. I don't think she belongs up there. You have to be a specialist with this character because once you get ganked and your teammates don't come help you, you're actually dead. She doesn't have any anti-gank. She has stalling capabilities, but like I said, you have to be very good with her. And once you do fight a good Peacekeeper and you can rotate well with her, she is a monster. And if you have a team to support you, then you're in good hands, in my opinion at least. I don't think she should be high A tier, maybe low A tier, not high A tier. This is matchmaking, mind you. This is not a comp series games. This is totally different. Totally different. We need all the defensive options we have in this gambling game. True, that's true. That's a good point. Zhanhu makes sense. I mean, good zone attack, good unblockable mix. The bash is okay. It's not amazing, but like it's better than most characters in my opinion. He also dodge cancel recoveries after the bash, which most people don't know. And not that big of a deal. Pretty straightforward character. You know, reliable indeed. Hitakiri. Wait, why is Hitakiri? What? Why is he down here? She should be all the way up here. She should be in S tier actually. I'm surprised Faraam put her down in the A tiers. I think the reason why, yeah, exactly. External block Peacekeeper, Joe over. She revolves around team fighting and relying on your teammates because she peels, good recoveries, and then boom shakalaka. That's all she does. Hitakiri, I'm surprised he's not S tier. I am honestly actually surprised Faraam didn't put her S tier, or at least like high A tier. But you know that's understandable. It's Faraam's opinion. I would rate her much higher than all these characters here. Like all these characters here. I would say the only character maybe this character would have issues with is like a Shaolin and an Ocelotl. But like otherwise, you know, I think she's ridiculously good. You have to have. This is a skill check character. This is a skill check character. If you don't parry those heavies, you're going to lose. That's the proof. That's the proof in the pudding. Pros have no skill. Well, what? Who said that? Fantastic. Shinobi. I agree with this positioning. Because a bad Shinobi, you can definitely tell if it's a bad Shinobi because they're gonna try to side dodge bash you, which is vulnerable for GBs. The only reason this character is insanely good is because of the gank potential and the ability to stall super well in team fights and 1v2s. So the distance of where you can travel, side dodge away from you, and also option select chain bash into undodgeable mix is pretty insane. Make 2 reads on that aspect. So, you know, shurikens, ridiculously good. 80 damage punish, GG's. 80 damage punish, boys. It's ridiculous. There's not much to say about Shinobi. I feel like everyone understands how this character works, and there's not much to say. So Valkyrie, I can agree with this pick right here, but I've seen Faraam play Valkyrie, and he is god awful. He does not understand the character at all, which is understandable because he doesn't play the character at all, mainly because the fashion is absolutely dog shit, and I refuse to be gaslighted. To be gaslighted that Valkyrie's fashion is good, because it's not. She only has one good set, period. That's all I have to say to you. And it's the Valkyrie one that shows the thighs, period. All the other sets make her look like a man or a transvestite. I don't know. That's my truth, and that's my opinion, and that's the truth. Okay, so Valkyrie, we will talk about the form as chain bash, not chain bash, neutral bash. The sweep, which is very good for ganks. Very good roll catcher, forward light. Probably one of the best forward light roll catchers in the entire game. Javelin and Flask, Juggernaut, Bloodlust. And of course she has, wait, I don't think, well, perks are also very important in this game too because it adds more variables. And so with that rapid refresh, she can get her Javelin very quickly and her tier 2 as well. So Warlord, I would agree with this pick. Warlord is incredibly underrated. I don't know why people are saying he's a bad character. He still has hyper armor for days. 4 days. Hey, what's up, Sarah? Sarah! Is that Danny? Yeah, simmer down. Oh my god, you're adding down bad right now. But Warlord, very good character still. Hyper armor. I mean, he's got neutral hyper armor and finisher heavy hyper armor. It's ridiculously good. And of course, he still has his full block. A lot of people don't utilize it that much, but it's just, it can be impressive when he's just staring at you, you know, full blocking at your face. It's absolutely ridiculous. And he's also has huge legend potential, huge stamina drain on wall throws. Definitely can underestimate him with his frame advantage attacks. Really good character. You cannot underestimate a Warlord. He's still very good. He's basically a little bit of a downgrade version of Varangian Guard. Shigoki, no doubt in my mind, he's A tier. I would say hyper armor. If you don't parry this character, if you cannot react to his heavy attacks, it's going to be a nasty read, and you're going to eat a lot of heavy attacks, and you're going to eat that bash afterwards, follow up on his heavy attack or his zone attack. So you have to, it's a skill check character. If you can't parry this, you're dead. You're basically dead. No anti-gank though, but it doesn't matter because he's a great staller and very strong for a heavy character. Heavy perks, period. Centurion, I can agree with this pick right here. I think some people aren't playing Centurion right. And that's okay, but you need to learn how to do it because he's not an anti-gank character. You can stall for a little bit, but you're going to be dead most 9 times out of 10. He's a ganker, he's a duelist, and you need to finish people off as fast as possible with both hands, okay? Centurion, his strength revolves around that aspect. It's just ganks, not team fights. And then if you get that going on for you, you can get some land some nasty, heavy, charged heavy attacks that have amazing range. You should be good to go because his chain 50-50 bash is very good, except for it being double dodged. But he still has some nice utility with his Haymaker, in my opinion. Why is the Bloodborne box and not Pixels too? Bloodborne is the best, okay? I get to mash light. Roller bash worse in the game now, though. Yeah, but he still has like a lot of things to deal with bullshit. Hyper armor, man. Hyper armor is great. That's all I have to say, man. Hyper armor is fantastic, and you can ledge people. A lot of ledging potential. Let's see here. Moving on to Nobushi, I can agree with this. Personally, I feel like yeah, this is an okay pick. In a very highly coordinated team, Nobushi will stay here. In like around here, I'd say. Like very good bleed stacks, high damage values, insane team fighting capabilities. Hidden stance is amazing for like so many reasons. If you're not a competent player though, I would put her down in B tier. But I feel like most people understand how to play this character already. But if you're just dodging and doing light attacks 24/7, doing chain light attacks, you're probably dog shit with her, and you're gonna lose a lot of games. But that doesn't mean that you're not gonna win your games because she still does a lot of bleed, a lot of damage, you know. So you can't underestimate that. Plus, Arrow Strike is ridiculous, and Longbow is redonkulous. Let's see here. We have Highlander. Maybe I should be higher. It'll be higher. Well, let's just wait a second here, okay? Let's just wait a second. Let's see what Faraam is cooking right now. So Highlander, I feel like Highlander should be higher, bro. I think Highlander should be way higher. Insane damage. Faraam has offensive stance, light attacks. You can guard break, you can feint it, you can feint your kick, you can feint everything now. I think he's an absolute monster. I think he's better than Centurion. I don't know if he's better than Shigoki. Probably not, because the variable time is just
you were going to the gym and
so
posting
good.
on Instagram you
Can
at
you simmer
McDonald's
down?
peeling chicky nuggies
7.
like fucking bananas.
Calm down. You're ruining my video. You're ruining my video. Anyways, Highlander, I feel like his skill floor is super low now, so understandable. I think this makes sense, but I think he should be a little bit higher, like maybe up here. A little bit up here, because his caber is ridiculously good. You can just fish for cabers, and you will have so much value. Aramusha, yeah, I'd say he's in a good place right now, like A tier. Not a good place, because a lot of characters outshine him in so many ways, but, you know, this is okay. Yeah, I would say move Zhenhu to Nobushi. These characters can swap, because Zhenhu is not that strong, because he's a very straightforward character, whereas Nobushi can be a lot more unpredictable, because her zone is ridiculously good. Zhenhu can also throw an unlocked zone too. but he doesn't have like the utility in team fights with Nobushi. Nobushi's a better peeler, and Jenu has to add tags with the 600 MS zone attacks. And this is a 4v4 tier list, mind you guys. So perks, feats, hitboxes, all are important. BP at A tier. Let me see. I don't know if he should. I feel like this is an okay spot, but I would kind of rank him a little bit higher because his stalling capabilities are really good. He has decent offense, you know, decent chain pressure. Overall, just a safe pick, like very, very safe. And of course, Oathbreaker, Umbral Shelter, Redonkulous. That's what I'm saying, Kevin. Like, I think Highlander should be a lot higher. You can just fish for Cabertoss. Like, you can make an argument for S tier for sure. But, you know, to be safe on Faraams tier list, I would put him like A tier, like up here at least. Because I know he's better than like all of these characters right here. And I feel like if you're good enough, if you can skill check the Hitakiri and the Shigoki better than all these characters. But that's like a skill issue. You have to be very good with that. But let's move on here. BP, safe character. Warmonger with the new buff currently. This Fire Emblem is including the new buff, I believe. I would put Warmonger way higher in my opinion. She's freaking cracked right now. Absolutely cracked. The forward dodge bash makes a huge difference. You can feint the bash super early to bait out attacks. You can let it fly. You won't lose bad trades anymore because one, your bash is gonna deal damage if they light or zone you. So it's very important that you have to let it fly now. And now when you charge it, you also have way more opportunities to see what they're going to do and to land it. So this is an insane buff. So I would put her way higher in my opinion. I would probably put her above Warlord for sure. I would put her above above these characters here for sure. I think she's super good right now. Like super duper good. Actually a scary character in my opinion. And of course she still has that 30 damage impale, which Lawbringer does not have. What a fucking clown. Okay, so that's good. Undodgeable. I mean, iframes on her dodge attack, unless it's a good player who's actually fighting him. You just light checker, but that depends on the character that you're using. Medjai, I don't know why he's this low. I think he's a very good character. I would put him above BP. I don't know why Armusha's so high. Armusha should be much lower. He should be the last A tier in my opinion. Looking at all these characters, he should be the last one. Like he's a hard hitting character. And he's a hard-to-hit character, but his blockades can easily be baited out in comparison to like Varangian Guards, where it's the most safe thing that she has next to her cushion counters. So I would say move him down, and then I would put Medjai way higher. Like I'd put him up here at least. Like his gank, and people aren't going to be like perfectly pairing your Nomad Swing, and they're not going to be pairing all of your chain heavy attacks and all that good stuff. So he has quite a few mix-ups that make him a scary threat in 1v1s and 4v4. Of course, you can't just be like throwing heavies all the damn time with this character, but you cannot underestimate him. He still has huge hitboxes, good damage values, and great feats too. Like great feats. I don't know why he's this low personally. I think it's because Farum doesn't play Medjai that much. Now this is going to be like a subjective take in my opinion, because if you play a certain character more, you're gonna know what the good matchups are and what the bad matchups are. And looking at some of these picks, Farum doesn't play Peacekeeper that much. He doesn't play Medjai either. So I don't think he understands these picks necessarily. And he might be using like other people's experience, which is fine too, like an objective take, because Peacekeeper is strong on an objective level, but that's only if your reactions are god tier and your reads are god tier and you have good teammates. Medjai, I feel like he's a little bit. I would honestly say Medjai is better than Peacekeeper when it comes to matchmaking games because of his utility on helping his teammates and dealing as much damage as possible. So I would put him above Peacekeeper. But this is Faraams tier list. And moving on to, let's see here, my boy Kyoshin. I don't know why he's last. I would put him a little bit higher. Armusha should be last. He still has very strong Fujin cuts, good ganks, and all that good stuff. Stationary when he's in full black, but I feel like a full black character in general is still very good. This character will be very good against Pirate if you're setting yourself up in a vicinity to a dodge attack. So, you know, I feel like Kyoshin just does a lot. Just staying in full block. Obviously, he's going to suffer against someone who's like really, really good because his chain bash is reactable. But I mean, just his ganks are ridiculously good, you know, in my opinion. And his tier 1's really good too. And Arrow Strike. Moving on to Tiandi, I can agree with this pick. I mean, B tier, I would probably put it like A tier, low A tier in my opinion. Low A tier, 500 still getting kicked out. Okay, I'm not even gonna play for honor today, dude. He doing A. That's what I said, Hong. Should be an A tier. I mean S tier. Anyways, moving on to Tiandi here. Tiandi, I don't know if I would put him this low because he still has decent chain pressure. Like it's not. He obviously loses frame advantage after a bash light, a forward dodge bash light. You can't do a bash light anymore, even though for some reason Orochi can, mind you. Like if they nerf that aspect of Orochi, he would drop all the way down to like B tier according to Faraams tier list, right? So that's one of the reasons why Orochi's top tier, because you can land 2 bashes in a row without getting interrupted. But they nerfed this aspect about Tiandi, which is a bit weird to me because then he doesn't really have like strong 50-50s anymore. Like his 50-50 relies only on his chain kick, makes up, but that only nets you 20 damage, and I feel like they over nerfed the crap out of that. If anything, it should have been like 22 damage. Like if anything, God, it has to be above 20 damage, man. You cannot give a character like a 20 damage heavy attack. That is sloppy. Lawbringer mains feel that, you know? We feel that. We feel like we got our nuts ripped out when we got 20 damage heavies, but they buffed our top heavy damage, which is pretty nice. It's 23 now, plus 5, so 28, I believe, for a top heavy damage, which is really good. It's honestly a very nice buff. So Tiandi loses a lot of chain 50-50 mix, so he has to commit to that undodgeable light or bait something out with the forward dodge, empty dodge or forward heavy, and then you have to wait for a reaction, you know, and then just have to hope that they don't light check you or zone check you afterwards. So not that strong. I feel like he's not super scary in 1v1s, but the only thing that's scary will be the skill check of blocking 4MS chain light attacks. So that's his only redeeming quality besides his 50-50 kick. I'd rather just eat the kick every single time than eat a guard break because that's 20 damage compared to 24. Feats are still very good though, Invigorate and what's it called? The shield feat. I already forgot. I'm losing. I haven't played for in a week and I'm starting to forget everything about this game. Thank God. I feel blessed. I feel happier. I feel happy. Okay, Sohei, I agree with the B tier pick on Sohei. Very situational, gimmicky, no external pressure whatsoever. You have to commit into your chain heavy attack, a chain zone attack, which is just it feels awful personally, because compare it to like a character like Ocelotl. So if you only had the option of doing a light into zone with Ocelotl, that would be how Ocelotl feels. But Ocelotl has the option to do a zone attack into another zone attack, or zone attack into a heavy or chain light attack, and this character has really not that much diversity, and I thought that diversity was our strength, boys, but it is not. It is not. So this character feels pretty limited, but with the 95 damage punish and 119 and then 145 damage punish if you manage to get all your souls. Farum did mention that he uses only his tier 2 to heal himself all the way. Very powerful stalling potential, but I'm assuming that's the strength of this character, but no team fighting capabilities. His ganks are okay because he can bash light into a skewer attack to have your teammates land double heavies, which is pretty nice. But other than that, there's nothing redeeming about him besides landing a cool punish that's 95 damage. But I wouldn't say personally, you know, I think people have been getting interrupted, but I feel like it's fast enough for the bash where comparative to like a shaman bite, like you're gonna get that shit interrupted all the time, even though they see you on the floor nomming on their faces. But with this bash, I feel like it's fast enough to where you're not going to, you know, get interrupted as often. But that's just my experience. Your experience could probably differ, and you probably get interrupted all the damn time. But you probably won't also be getting all your stacks against like a decent team. A decent team, you're not getting any of these souls, man. It's just team fights and team fights. If there's 2 Soheis, it's a huge disadvantage in my opinion. No team fights, no team fighting capabilities, no super duper strong ganks. And the 1v1 potential is good, but it's also kind of mediocre in comparison to everything else, you know? Like, it's okay, but it's like nothing you write home about. So, character definitely in a weird, mediocre state, but has good damages if you have your souls. And that's really the gist of the character. He's gonna need a few adjustments, in my opinion. Like, something to make him feel a little bit less chonky, less clunky, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. So, my opinion. Quick question: if I dodge attack incoming attack from a Fira, why can she just full block me? Fira can't full block. Are you talking about her tier 3? Or tier 3 is the one that full blocks you. Tier 3 lets her use a full block grab, and then she gets a follow-up heavy attack. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. A Lawbringer, I would agree with the Lawbringer here. B tier for sure. B tier, strong character, hyper armor, all that good stuff. I feel like we talk about Lawbringer enough. I don't want to talk about this sad character. It makes me depressed, and it makes my PTSD act up. Raider, strong character still. Definitely sucks against a lot of these characters, but you can definitely do well with them. I would put Raider above Tiandi in my opinion, because he has better ledging potential than Tiandi. Tiandi his damage is just not there. I would put him way higher, high B tier. He still has pretty good chain pressure with his heavy attacks and soft feints. Like he's gonna chip you down if you don't parry stuff. And pretty good hitbox for zone tech too. Like you just zone in team fights, and that's how you win your games. Zerker, I disagree with this pick 100%. I 100% disagree with this pick. Zerker, I think he's still like a high A tier pick. Very good character in my opinion, especially when we're coming to matchmaking. He's only this low when you fight like the highest tier comp players, like the sweatiest motherfucking stack of all times. Then you'll be like, oh, this character sucks. He can't do anything. Because they're just blocking all my Faraams lights. Then he sucks. But this character in matchmaking, even if you're fighting like a competent team, they're all solo queue players or they're chilling. And I fought stacks with my Berserker and I'm solo queuing. He does just fine. I would put him like high A tier. I would put him next to like heat tier should be higher, but I would put him like next to like Valkyrie or something like that. Like he's not a bad character at all. Super duper. Any character with all hyper armor is gonna be good. Like 100%. Like 100%. I cannot stress that enough. He's got Doom Banner, Bounty Hunter. He's got his hand axe, which has it's 300 ms. It's a 300 ms axe. It does 25 damage, 120-second cooldown. Still has Fire Flask and still has Fear itself. He's not a bad character, and you can still dodge away from mix-ups. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing that makes a character strong right now is dodging away from mix-ups. It used to be that you could only people get the misconception that the character was super strong because you could dodge into a character when you're external and still continue your chain mix-up. But the power of dodging away and going into hyper armor trade or another dodge cancel, that's still very good. So Zerker still has that. So he needs to be up here in my opinion, much stronger. But you know, hyper armor, 4MS chain light attacks. Although the light attacks are reactable to someone who is paying attention, but you can also external that shit. But hyper armor exists with this character, so I think he's very strong still. He's not weak, and he shouldn't be B tier. He can stop all these characters here, all of them right here, and he can stop like most of these cast right here. He can destroy all these characters here. The only ones he'll have trouble with is like strong full guard characters or dodge attack hyper armor characters too, like Pirate. Pirate can be very good against. Well, I think his Zerker is better than Pirate in my opinion, much better, but. That's my opinion. Kensei, I would put Kensei like higher B tier in my opinion. I think Kensei is better than Tiandi, better than Sohei, better than Lawbringer, and Raider should be up higher in my opinion. So Kensei, I think we understand how Kensei's kit works. Triple chain heavies for triple chain ganks. Great wall splats. The strength of this character is his wall splat, 34 damage, and then decent feats, longbow, and stalwart banner. Chilling Stare, if you want to run that. I usually run Chilling Stare because I can just drop it and leave it and just get out, you know? Dude, I love yapping about this game. Get out of here. This is for my video. I love this game so much. I love this game. If I could marry this game, if I could marry Nobushi or Shaman, I would, okay? I would. I'd do it. I swear to God, I'll do it. But Kensei, I would say high B tier. Gladiator, I think this makes sense of a pick because he's also a character that requires a little bit more finesse, in my opinion. I think he has very easy ganks. Just toe stab, profit, okay? But if you fight like any competent player who can dodge 600 ms neutral bashes, then you're pretty much fucked for this character. Like the only strength of this character is like guaranteeing some moves with your toe stab. Like that's the gist of it. But he has high damages with his deflex. Very good forward momentum and hitboxes on his chain finishers. I think a lot of people underestimate this, but I've landed some gnarly chain heavies with this character. It has some huge hitboxes, phantom hitboxes. It's kind of crazy. But obviously it's nothing to write home about comparison, like, you know, freaking old orochis side heavies, you know? New Hera got leaked, she got unparable heavies. Huh? What are you cooking? Send me it afterwards, Mike. Let's see here. And then Conqueror makes sense. Conqueror's trash. I don't even want to talk about it. It makes me depressed. And my imposter syndrome is going to act up. Nusha, I would put Nusha a little bit higher, like B tier. But, I mean, C tier makes sense too, because she feels awful to play unless you're a specialist. You know, unless you're a specialist. If you're a specialist, she feels good to play because you're making reads, you understand how the character works, and you understand which side have you to throw to ball splat and all that good stuff, and you stand in the zone. Also freaking is like an option, pseudo option select, so it's kind of cool. Jormungandr, I did not agree with Jormungandr. Okay, Farum doesn't play Jormungandr, So he doesn't know what the character can and can't do. I would put Jormungandr like low A tier. He is not C tier, dude. Oh my god. I think this is objectively wrong. Because this character in matchmaking, he can hold his own. He can definitely hold his own. Great hitboxes on his chain zone attack that has hyper armor, 24 damage. And his hitboxes are insane for his finisher heavies. You can target swap this and hit someone right next to you and behind them. It's very good stuff. And it also wall splat, so huge clutch potential to land a chain zone or a top heavy finisher, depending on your stamina values and all that good stuff. And then of course his light attacks. Personally, his light attacks are I don't think they're reactable. They look weird, and they made it look weird on purpose, so that's harder to parry. But can you guys parry this just by animation? I feel like it's a little bit harder to parry, in my opinion, because the animation looks so jank. But you know, it might be kind of bad, because honestly, I feel like I parry it like 80% of the time too. I don't know, but the character, not a bad pick. You can use your chain bash. He still has a pin. He has a pin, dude. You forget about that. The pin. I know it's like not as good as maybe like a Tiandi kick or a Centurion chain bash or maybe Hitakiri, but it's so good, dude. So good. He did lose his hyper armor on his nut slam, but you can just use a zone attack, a chain zone attack with hyper armor if you wanted to. You know, it's a lot of people don't know that you can you don't have to commit to the Jormungandr smash. But of course, your tier 2 is going to be a really nice. It's going to complement your nut slam, but you can just opt for the 24 damage chain zone, which I honestly always forget too. But if you want it to be smart, if you're a smart player, you can make him work, and he's like an A tier pick. I disagree with that. He's super low because he's not. If you compare his kit to like the rest of the cast, to like an actually shit tier character, he has like more than most characters, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying, guys? Okay, that's pretty good. Lowering your light span, bashing. Yeah, he can also keep attacking too, because he has enhanced light attacks. His zone can be very good for initiating offense. Very good, decent hitbox too. Of course, he's gonna have very bad matchups. He has really bad matchups against dodge attack characters like Pirate. This character right here. Delete this character. And you know, I feel like Jormungandr does fine against Hitakiri, man. Like it's all the characters here struggle against the top tiers. All of them, like Shaolin, Jangjun, Ocelot, all these characters up here, they struggle. But Jormungandr has a decent matchup against everyone, in my opinion. I think his bash. I feel like his bash is pretty good too, though. I feel like I can't dodge it perfectly all the time. But yeah, Jormungandr, I disagree with this pick. I think he should be A tier. Mine is A tier. Jormungandr is a strong character, and you can't underestimate him because he's a good staller. Faraam doesn't really play this character, nor does he play Nusha, because I don't play Nusha either. And everyone tells me that Nusha is, you know, also terrible, but against like a really good player, she has some utility. So she's like a B tier. But Jormungandr definitely A tier in my opinion. Shaman, I would put her in like C tier as well. I would put her, well, I wouldn't say needs buff, D tier, because she has a certain playstyle, just like Peacekeeper, where you have to backcap, win your duels, and sneak attack people with their fast sprint speed. So Shaman should not be this low. I think she should be like C tier in my opinion, because she has quite a few strong things about her kit, like amazing throw punishes, not throw punishes, but amazing throw distance for ledging potential, throw into bash, guarantee bash, and also if they're unlocked and you manage to hit them in the back with some nice back shots, forward heavy, into light attack, bleed, boom shakalaka. They lost half their HP and they're in your predator stance mix-up. Like super scary to get stuck in that situation with bear trap and hand axe. You're instantly bled. But I don't use hand axe. I use second wind in my opinion, and then fire flask. It's like she's not terrible. The only bad thing about her kit is the hitboxes. That's literally the only bad thing about her kit. Otherwise, she has something that can be feared like crazy. If they give her hitbox adjustments on like her dodge attack, then she'd be a little bit better. But the thing is, you can compare it to Peacekeeper, but Peacekeeper has like a zone attack that keeps her very safe when it comes to like stalling. Her zone attack gets everywhere around her. It's probably her best move right now. Her light attacks also has decent hitboxes too. Her heavy attacks got adjustments as well. So the hitbox on those are really good. So if they adjust Shaman's dodge attack hitboxes and her neutral heavy hitboxes, and also her finisher heavy, her unblockable one. Also, let's make it so that she doesn't lose all of her stamina on that. That'd be great, and speed it up because at this point, I believe it is. It's a 1,000. Is it 1,000 MS finisher heavy? If I believe, I don't. It's either 900 or 1,000, but I think it's 900. I think it's 900. It's a very slow heavy for a finisher heavy. So they could probably speed that up by 100 MS, and that would be fun. And but yeah, like she has good damage values overall and a decent kit. She just needs better hitboxes. Then she would jump up to like the B tiers, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean that's Faraams tier list. That's my reaction to it. Let me know what you guys think of this tier list and my adjustments. I suppose I should have made my own tier list to like adjust Faraams, but I'll make another tier list of my own, including gameplay, and not a lazy like format where I just talk about it, because I like doing the discussion videos too, where I just talk about it. But obviously adding gameplay and adding like small tidbits here and there during the video requires a lot more editing and a lot more work, so that's probably going to take like a couple of days. But I do have an Elden Ring video out, so be sure to watch that, boys. But yeah, that's going to be my reaction to Faraams' video. Thanks for making the video, Faram, and GG. See you in the battlefield.